You must be wondering, like, where's he going with this? Okay, so now we got in. So now we're setting ourselves up for success. Now, the reason why I wanted you to talk about some of the things you loved was because the next phase we're going to do here for the next 30 minutes is all about your own personal mission, purpose, values. Now, we tend to align with the things we love, right? Whether it's you're doing a business because it provides you certain freedoms or certain financials or whatever that may be. Because what I've come to the conclusion over the past 10 years is that nobody does real estate to do real estate. I mean, some people like Dan Furnish might say, I really love solving problems, and solving problems in real estate's cool, right? Like that's one way of expressing that love. But most people, if not all, do real estate because of the alternate or the extra benefits it provides, right? Because it provides time, provides leverage, provides freedoms, it provides finances, it provides opportunity to be creative. Now, if you're anything like me, like I am an artist through business. That's how I create. I don't paint things, I don't draw things, but I do like to make business work. And that's how I go through my expression. So that's a way I do it through real estate. So most of us do that. So with that being said, if we know what we like to do, if we know where we're trying to go, if we understand what our mission is in life, then real estate is going to be a part of that mission. It's not going to be all of it. But the only way that each and every one of us can have a very clear filter about making decisions about our future in present state is if we have a filter to go ahead and make those decisions. Now, I'll walk you through, if you've never done a mission, purpose, values exercise before, I'm going to say, I'll break it down. On how this actually works. So your mission may change, but your mission is where you are going, and typically by when. And there's also a measurement on what you've more or less accomplished. And it could be financial, it could be based on deals, but more than likely could be based on impact or something like that as well. And more than likely it's going to evolve. Like, if you've seen successful people, usually as they age, it's less about money and more about impact, more about philanthropy, things of that sort. I got to spend a couple of days with some extremely successful people that are in the philanthropy phase of their life. Now, so then, like right now, in your current phase of your life, let's put together a 3-year mission. So I can give you our business mission just to kind of get you guys thinking. And our business mission is to be known as the community that transforms dedicated people into wicked smart real estate investors. There's some key components and key language in there. And the truth is, your mission, purpose, values are not going to be perfect when you leave here in the next 30 minutes. They're not. But this is to get you started, because I'll tell you that the words in the language in which you use in these have a drastic difference in the outcome and how they're seen. So let me break down some of our Smart Real Estate Coaches' mission. So to be known as is really important, because the way in which we look at that is we want the outside perspective from others to say, these guys are known for this thing. These girls are known for this thing. That's an influential statement, right? The second piece is transformation. Every single decision that we make is about transforming each and every one of your lives. So when Mike tells me, he says, hey, right now we're in October, immersion, some people are having some challenges with consistency or some mindset. I'm like, okay, how do we transform that current situation? How do we ensure that we provide the right tools to each and every one of you, so that way this either doesn't happen again, so you've transformed into a higher being, right, in a higher level mentally, developmentally, or if it happens again, you have the tools in order to quickly bounce back, so that way you can continue to move forward. Does that make sense so far? The next piece is dedicated. If you look all around here in this room, you're surrounded by dedicated people. Now, I know that it's because you're putting in the work day in and day out. You're showing up. You're like people like David Albin taking a day off in order to sit in an hour-and-a-half meeting, hour-and-a-half mastermind. That's dedicated. Putting up or investing yourself in not a small amount of money in order to get involved in this. That's dedication. Dedicated. And then the last piece is wicked smart real estate investors. So that is a internal jargon to us. But what that means is we are creative. We are looking for solutions. We are providing the highest integrity in every single deal that we do. There's a very specific language when it comes to wicked smart real estate investors, not just real estate investors, that you live the core values through us. So when I'm making a personal mission statement right now, it's what I would like to accomplish, where I would like to be, and the flag I would like to plant. So if I were to pass away tomorrow, right? It's what people may say about me, right? Because that's what I wanted. That's how I wanted to influence the world around me. Does that make sense? Why don't we give it, let's give it like 2 minutes, and why don't you give it a shot? Again, not gonna be perfect. I want to get you guys' brain thinking because I want you to strategically make your way through life. I don't want you to blindly make your way through life. Now, I know I'm reading Michael Singer's book on the surrender experiment. There's a certain intent that I believe is involved in where you go in life. Now, it might not unfold the way you want it to, or the way you expected it to, but I do believe there's a certain amount of intent that we need to put out there in order to reach the goals that we hope to reach. So this would be where you'd like to be. What's your intention? Let's take the next 2 minutes. And why don't you give it a go? And it's usually just like one sentence, not a paragraph. 4:39. It's 4:38. We'll come back at 4:40. Once you're done, turn your camera back on, and you can type in the chat "done." And I'd love a volunteer or two. Say it. I'd like to be vulnerable.
I'll give it a shot. I'm not sure if this is where we're going.
Do it.
This is what I wrote down. This is what you're talking. A dedicated problem-solving real estate investor that can help both buyers and sellers achieve their dreams. That's what we want to be at the end of next year.
Love it. Very good. Hobby. Look, there's no right answer. This is your personal mission. But I encourage you guys to look at this and say, this is my filtering mechanism to make decisions, right? How I'm going to build my life. Because when we look at it just through a company, utilizing that mission, every single decision that we make, we look and say, is it helping us to be known as the community that transforms lives, transfers dedicated people into wicked smart real estate investors? So if I look at another business opportunity, right, does that affect how does that affect the mission? If we accept somebody, how does that affect the mission? So just wanted to throw that out there for some context. Avi.
I want to be present with my family in Israel and providing for them via, with real estate creative investing by September 2025.
Love it. You can put a date in there. Okay. Love it. Zach.
Mine is to be known as the go-to guy that can get deals done in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland for creative finance real estate.
Love it. Love it. Anybody else want to share? Brian.
To generationally impact 100 lives through real estate and investing by December of 2030.
Love it. Very good. Cool. Now we're laying down the flag, right? The mission is where we are going. Where we are going. This will all lead up to what next year is going to need to be for you in order to get there, or what next year is going to provide for next steps for you to get there. Okay, love it. Okay, so now let's jump to the next piece. Purpose. Your purpose is your why. So if your mission is where, then your purpose is why. So again, giving you just context of a business standpoint, our purpose is to empower individuals and families to create the life of their dreams. And we believe if we empower everyone, that it's going to reach our mission, right? This is why we're doing it. So this might be a little bit more personal, right? So your why. What's your why? Let's go ahead and take 2 minutes and make sure we write this down. What is your why? Why are you doing it? What is your purpose? All right, who'd like to share their purpose? Now, many of you, this might be a little bit easier, right? We work on a lot of why statements. I feel like that's like the most common out of this mission, purpose, values. Dan, you're like Dan and Zach. You guys are volunteering like crazy. This is good. Love the interaction. Go ahead.
All right, for me, the purpose, provide a legacy to support our special needs son and also provide a business that my other son can carry forward.
Love it. Very legacy driven. Love it, Dan. Zach.
Mine's very similar. Create generational wealth for my kids' kids so that they don't so they can do what they love and not have to worry about working a job they hate to fund it.
Love it. I can feel that. Kenny.
To do what I want, when I want, and with who I want. Just the freedom to do that.
Love it. When you hear your why, right, there should be no reason why you can't reach your mission. Because your mission means, like, there's a reason why it's called a mission, right? There's nothing easy about a mission. Like a mission, like even the word mission has some context to it. Like a voyage or like a trek. Like you just know when you say, this is my mission, you're like, shit, I'm going to have to deal with some stuff. And the only way you can deal with that stuff is if your why is powerful enough for you to look in the mirror and say, you know what, this sucks today, but I got to keep doing it. I got to keep doing it. Your why should definitely have an impact on your heart. Your mission's your head, your why's your heart, right? The last thing is your how. How are you going to do it? Which is your core values. Right? Because we can reach a mission and have a purpose in many different ways. But how we do it is going to determine our values, right? Or our values, I should say, are going to determine how we're going to do it. If you just look at creative financing in general, right? I mean, there's people like that will openly tell you that they will take non-refundable deposits and not care, right? There's gurus out there that will tell you that. That's one of the ways, like that is not a way that we would do it. It's still a way. Core values are different. One is it's all on them. The other one is we're highest integrity. We want to make sure that we're giving people the resources in order for them to succeed. Right? So some core values of ours are team over me, constantly innovate and improve, complete all transactions with the highest integrity. So it's the how we do things. I'd love for you guys just to write down a couple core values. When we're talking about a mission, purpose, values, I mean, you can have 10 core values, but I would really recommend that it's like 3 to 5. Because if it's hard for you to remember what your core values are, it's not easy for you to use that as a filter mechanism, right? So if you're going to get involved in a business deal or a real estate deal, and you can't remember your filter mechanism, then you're going to probably do any deal. But if you can remember, oh, all right, this person, if one of my core values is team over me, then when I have a conversation with this seller, if he's not on board of like helping me and I help him and we look at this as a partnership, all right, then this might not be the right deal for me. Or if I'm talking with a seller and he's what do you call it? Like a landlord that's absolutely terrible to their tenants. And you're like, should I buy this property from this guy? Like, you might say, no, I'd actually rather walk away from $100,000 because I don't support that type of behavior, right? That's my filter. Or you might say, like, if your purpose is maybe to spend more time with somebody. So Kenny Bates is like, my purpose is I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, with whoever I want. Well, then it's very unlikely that he's going to get involved in something that's going to require him to micromanage every single aspect of it, because there's no freedom in there, right? It might give him the money that he wants, but it's not going to provide him with the time that he wants in order to do what he wants when he wants. See how that can be very much a filtering mechanism of, okay, my mission is here. Here's why I do it, but I want to do this thing in a certain way. Is that making sense? Or are you guys lost now? All right, let me give you guys 2 minutes on writing out 3 to 5 core values. Love it. Okay. You might want to share a couple core values, just like one of your core values. Zach.
I'm up for it. So I did an acronym called DRIVE, because that's what's going to drive me. It's dedication, integrity, vigilance, and evolution.
Okay. Well, I'll ask you later on or some other time what that means to you, but I appreciate it. And I love the acronym too, so you remember it. Go ahead, Kenny.
Goal oriented.
Love it. Okay. Dan.
Win-win solutions.
Okay. Love it. Anybody else want to share? John.
To collaborate with integrity and without ego.
Very good. Kevin.
Honesty and compassion.
Okay. Love it. You guys see how this may be I keep using filtering mechanism, but can you see how this may be able to point you in the direction subconsciously and consciously in order to help you reach your goals? See how this may be a great foundation and collaborative effort for you and your family to get together and say, here's what my core values look like. Here's why I'm doing things. Here's what my mission is. And can we, as partners, whether it's your husband or wife or kids, can we collaborate and create a family mission, purpose, values? So that way, when we sit down at the dinner table, we know what we stand for as a family and what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. See, this stuff goes way beyond the business. This is way beyond the business. Because if you actually look at a company, right? A company was originally created, companies, from the military, right? So the militaries would be like mini families. And they had very specific places they were going and how they were going to do it and why they were doing it. And the more alignment you can create with your environment around you, the more likely you're going to be able to attract the things that you hope to attract in a shorter period of time. If you're constantly surrounded by people that have consistent core values as you, are you more likely to do business transactions with them? Yeah, very likely. If you have a very specific mission that you're going after and you're talking to people all around you and you're clear on that mission, is it more likely that people will bring you business? Yeah, I would think so. If you live by your why, are you going to be able to put your head down at night and be motivated to get up in the morning in order to go ahead and reach your goals? Yeah, I would think so. See how laying down a foundation and being very clear on your foundation could drastically affect the way you operate on a day-to-day. You guys see how that may be effective for you? So I know I started off today with love, right? And the reason why I did that is because that's typically going to be your North Star, right? The feeling inside is what's going to actually drive you. I know everybody thinks we make decisions with our head, but we actually make it with our heart, right? That's why if you even look at sales, nobody makes logical buying decisions. They make emotional buying decisions. So if we can at least be in touch with that emotional decision-making process, then we're more likely to attract the things that we want. Which will then lead us to the next phase. I said, oh, Mike's going to start to take over here in just a second, which would be, all right, well, now that we have a clear idea about where we want to go, how we're going to do it, and why we're doing it, does it make it a little easier to try to bite off a chunk of work, which is really what the next 12 months is, right? It's a chunk of work that moves us into a direction that we're hoping to accomplish for our long-term future. It's just a chunk of work that's 12 months long. And can we now say, all right, if I make this step forward, I believe, right? Because we can't control everything else. We can only control our attitude, our behaviors, and our thoughts, right? Those are the only things we can control: our actions, our behaviors, and our thoughts. So if I can take one step forward here, and I believe that's to be the step forward that I think I need to make, that would then be the 2024 year or chunk of work of that next step in your mission. Everybody tracking with me? Everybody feeling good? Awfully quiet here. All right. Different work, right? I'm not asking you to go make a bunch of phone calls today. You should just be appreciative of that. Mike will tomorrow. Mike, do you happen to have your, did you do your 2024 mission yet? Or your 2024 vision? Or are you in the process of at least working on it?
Process now, yeah.
Okay. Do you have your 2023?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to pull it up here.
Has anybody done one of the 12-month look backs yet, or the like the December 2023 plan or the December 2022 plan? Has anybody done that with us yet? Well, so no one's been around for over a year then. Avi, you've done it?
I did, yes.
Okay, awesome. So we got one person in the room that we can also use as well. So let me walk you through what that looks like. So if everyone could close your eyes. Close your eyes. It is December 30th, or yeah, December 30th. I don't think there's 31 days in the month. December 30th. 2024, right? And you are in your favorite place. Pick whatever place that is. Imagine that's where you are. And what you're doing is you are reflecting back on 2024. What have you accomplished? What have you done? What have you seen? Where have you gone? Who have you affected? Think through that entire process. All right, Zach, whatever. There are 31 days. So you have one extra day in the year. Just imagine what you have seen and picture it as if it's already happened. Now, you're going to take the time after we leave here today, and you're going to have basically, 45 days in order to get that fine-tuned. What we do is we start with a page or two of that reflection, getting emotionally attached to that end goal. Then after that, you'll work with Mike and then he'll help you break it down so it's logical, and help you reach those end goals. Because some of your goals are going to be, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds, right? I lost 10 pounds. I'm sitting on the beach in Cancun and I'm shredded. And now I've had my third margarita, right? And then some are going to be like, hey, I need to affect 10 people's lives this year. So I've done 5 deals, right? I've helped the seller and the buyer. I'm sitting there and I have this amount of money in my bank account. And I have this many people that were excited about that we were able to help them out. Like there's going to be some business and some personal attached to that. But know at the end of the day, it's all you. Business is an expression of you, the founder. I think you popped up first. Oh, all right. Dan raised his hand first. Dan first. Go ahead.
Okay, as you see over my shoulder, I love flying on the weekends.
Nice. Okay. All right. So what is one thing you could do with flying during the week?
It's tough because we only operate the club on the weekend.
Okay.
So
Is there
that's-
anything that you believe that you can do daily? Maybe it's not flying, but is there anything you can do daily?
No, I think that would probably flip over to one of my other items. And, I like providing solutions to challenges. I like people come to me and say, hey, I got an issue. What can I do? How do we work through it? So I kind of like the brainstorming aspect of that. So I've kind of been the go-to guy in various environments to come to. So I kind of like that. And when we work something out through a solution is very gratifying to me.
I love it. Okay, very good. Who would like to go next? Raise your hand or unmute.
I'll go next.
There he is. Mr. Miller, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you? I like to go every night, take a walk with my wife or my kids.
Love it. Get some fresh air, hang out with the kiddos. Very good. Kenny.
Yeah, mine was gonna be spend more time with the girls and then alone time. I just never have enough alone time. There's no such thing as alone time in my household.
Been there. Michael Zucker.
I really like cooking and trying out new recipes,
Love
which I
it.
can definitely do daily.
Oh, you and Steve Carney, you guys will be cooking there on the masterminds. Kevin.
Enjoy gardening and landscaping.
Love it. Kevin the gardener. I can see you in those garden gloves. John Ettrick.
I love to work out and I haven't been doing it and I need to get back to it.
Love it. Very good. Does anybody else like to share? I don't want to close it down if anybody else wants to share.
I like working with clay. It's a big stress reliever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Very good. Okay. Everyone, I want you guys to pull up your calendar. Because I told you this needs to be done 20% of the time daily. So when you get on the phone with Mike and you say, I'm burnt out, I'm stressed out, and Mike says, are you doing what you love 20% of the time? And you say no, Mike's gonna be like, well, this was important. This is important for your mental health. Extremely important. My wife tells me this stuff all the time. This is why I want to bring it to you guys. This is what I love about masterminds and speaking. It's I get to talk to myself, to you guys. And the importance of really understanding that you're doing something daily that you love, surprisingly enough, like you're gonna be hesitant. I can tell you this. You're gonna be hesitant. You're gonna say, I don't have enough time in the day, right? Because I already got all these other things going on. You're gonna be hesitant to take away that time in order to do something you love. And at first, when you're doing something you love, you're going to be like, well, I should be doing this, right? A major piece of advice that a mentor of mine, acquaintance of mine said to me, he said, Zach, if you have big dreams and big goals, then here's the thing. When you're with your family, be with your family. Don't wish you were working. And when you're working, don't wish you were with your family. Same thing here. When you're doing something you love, enjoy doing it. Whether it's family or fitness or an activity, or it's brainstorming, masterminding, connecting. Don't wish you were doing something else. Because the idea of this 20% is going to fuel the rest of it. It's going to fuel everything else, which is so important. Here's why. It's not about the amount of time you spend doing something. It's about how effective you are while you're doing that thing. Right? If you said to me, I need to make 100 dials, I'd be like, okay, 100 dials, good idea, good output. That's something you can control. But what's the real goal? The real goal is I need 5 leads. Okay, great. Well, imagine if you could make 10 calls and get 5 leads. I would say you accomplished that goal, right? So the more effective we are during that time frame, and I'm telling you, trust me with this, that if you're in a more focused, positive energy because you're coming off of something that you enjoy doing, or you get to look forward to doing that thing you love, it's going to make you more effective during the day. It's going to make you more effective at your business. It's going to make you more effective with your family. Everybody agree with that? Okay.